All right, so let's take a look at the products tab, which is one of the major tabs that we have under the general settings in WooCommerce. Now over here, the general settings under the products tab, we have measurements. So you can choose the weight unit from pounds to kilograms to grams. We have the dimensions unit from inches to centimeters, millimeters, inches, yards, what have you. Now under reviews, by default, enable ratings on reviews have been ticked. Ratings are required to leave a review, and then of course show verified owner label for customer reviews. These three have been ticked by default, and they're pretty self-explanatory. You can enable ratings on reviews. Ratings are required to leave a review. Basically, what this means is that you're not going to allow people just to leave a rating. Let's say, for example, 4 stars out of 5, 5 stars out of 5. They would have to write a review that goes along with their rating, explaining why they actually chose the rating that they chose. Show verified owner label for customer reviews. This really should go hand in hand with allowing only reviews from verified owners. And verified owners simply means that before someone can leave a review, they actually need to have bought the product. And what happens here is the client or the customer would have signed in, would create an account, buy the product, and then he or she can leave the review for the product. And I think Amazon does something very similar like this. So let me just click Save Changes. Let's go down to Display. Now the shop page by default has been set to shop. And of course you can change this. All you would have to do is to create a new page and then select that page over here in the drop down. The shop page display. Now what exactly do you want to show on your shop page? Do you want to show the products, or do you want to show the categories, or do you want to show categories and products? Also here for the default category display, what would you like your customers to see when they click on a category products page? Do you want to see the products, or do you want to see the subcategories, or the subcategories and products? Let me bring over here my favorite site once again, Jack Threads, and over here you can see they don't actually even have a shop page. They do have major categories like clothing, shoes, and then of course accessories. And then under these major categories, they have subcategories. Like under clothing, we have outerwear, shirts, tees, pants. So you can click on shirts as an example. And then under shirts, we now have the shirts that they are selling. So we could do something very similar like this. So rather than having a shop page, a singular shop page that shows all your products, you can have your major categories of products have their own menu items, and then create the subcategories for each major category of a shopping item. And that's what we're going to do for our online store. Let me move that. Let's come down here to the default product sorting. How would you like to sort out your products? Do you want to do that by custom ordering, or by the popularity in sales, the average rating, and so on and so forth? Add to cart a behavior. Now the very first option here gives you the option of redirecting to the cart page after a successful addition. So what happens here is, if you chose this option, what happens is, as soon as a customer or a client has chosen a product to add to the cart, they will be redirected to that page automatically. And I don't think you want that. You want your clients or your customers to shop for as many products as they can before they themselves choose to go to the cart page themselves. So I am going to uncheck this. Enable Ajax add to cart buttons and archives. Well, this is basically means that you can allow users or clients to add products as they browse through your website. Product images. Over here we have the defaults for the catalog images, which is 300 pixels by 300 pixels. It's been set to a hard crop. And same thing for the single product image and product thumbnails. Now, if you wanted to change the dimensions, say for example from 300 to 300 by 300 to, let's say, 200 by 200, what would happen here is this. Once you change the dimensions here, you click Save Changes. If you have already uploaded those images to your media library, you would need to do something called regenerating thumbnails. Regenerating a thumbnail simply means that you're telling WordPress to recreate new sizes of all the images that you have in your media library. And such a new size would be the new dimension that you've added over here, the new dimension that you've changed. So you can check the very next class. I will add a very short video explaining to you how to generate thumbnails and also the difference between a hard crop and a soft crop. You can check out the very next video for more explanation about that. Over here for the product image gallery, you can enable lightbox for product images so that when a client clicks on a product, it will pop out in the form of a lightbox. I think that's pretty cool, so I'm going to leave that as it is. Let's jump down to the inventory. What do we have here? Would you like to manage stock? Absolutely. So I'm going to leave this box ticked. Now hold stock. Here, what this simply means is that if a customer decides to add a product to their cart, they would have a certain number of minutes, in this case 60 minutes, 1 full hour, to pay for that product before it's taken off the cart. So you can change the value over here, or you can simply disable it by just making this particular box blank. Now notifications, would you like to be notified when you have low stock or when you're out of stock? Absolutely. I don't see any reason why you would not want to be notified when you're running low on your stock or when you're out of stock. And of course, this is the email address that would be where the notifications will be sent to you. Now, low stock threshold. What value would you like to add that will indicate when a particular product is running out of stock? The default here is 2, but I think I'm going to put that to 5. Out of stock threshold, naturally, has been set to 0 because that's literally what it means. You're out of stock when your product number is 0. So you can you can change this if you wanted to, but I'm just going to leave this on 0. Out of stock visibility, would you like to still show items to customers that are actually out of stock? I think it's often a good idea. This way you can actually entice them to come back and check your site later, just in case that product has been added back. So I will tick this box. And of course, finally, we have the stock display format. How would you like to display your stock? Always show the stock, like for example, 12 in stock. Or you can say, well, we only have 2 left in stock. Or you can just never decide to show the stock amount. So I'm just going to choose this for now, never show stock amount. This might change as we progress. Save changes. Finally, over here we have downloadable products, but since we're selling physical products, we're not selling downloadable products. I'm not going to spend any time talking about this, but it's pretty self-explanatory on its own, so I'll just ignore this tab for now. So that's it for the products tab. Join me in the next class where we will talk about the hard crop and soft crop, and also how you can regenerate your thumbnails. Thank you for watching. I will see you then.